The mirror. The world is a mirror. The assumption is, when I look at the world, I see the world. The truth is, when I look at the world, I see what I think, as opposed to what it is. In self-discovery, it is to understand that point, that very point. I see what I think, not the world. If you will pay attention to others and watch them respond to something that doesn't exist. I see it all the time. People say, well, that is so-and-so, and I look at it and I don't see that. I see a person trying to do something else. In your learning about you, you have to listen to yourself. What are you saying? What are you saying about what you see? What are you judging about what you see? Your judgment is about you. You can see things. Once you see objectively, you see action. You can't immediately say why those actions happen. It takes time. It takes time to be around someone to see what their base is, objectively. Now, there's a danger here, because there are people who think they're right, and they're not. That's the danger. Oh, well, I see this and this and this, and I'm looking at you going, no, you don't. How can I tell? By your reaction to what you see, how you are taking what you see. Look, we don't get upset unless we think we are equal to what we see. And when we think we're equal to what we see, it is because what we see is in our own minds. I see people do really dumb things. It doesn't upset me, because in that respect, we are not equals. It is a person who has learned basic math and a person who understands calculus. One is not better than the other. One just understands math better than the other. And you don't get upset because the person can't do a calculus computation. They are just where they are. Doesn't mean you are better. It doesn't mean they are worse. It just means they're in a different place. We don't get upset. When we have that reaction, who is the problem? You are the problem. And that is the way we have to look at it. What is it I have to do to make my life better? And to make my life better, to make what is next to me better, to make the city better, the world better, the entire universe better. What I have to do is be a better me. Be me at my base. One of the things we must understand is that humankind, or the universe, or whatever you want to call that word, always seeks to be its best. Always seeks to grow to be its best. It's as simple as that. So if it is seeking naturally to be its best, why am I upset with it? For it starting where it is. We all don't start at the same place. It's like a marathon race on a track, or a distance race on a track. Everybody doesn't start at the same place. If you're running a 440 and you got a curb, everybody is staggered. So the guy on the inside is not going to get upset with the guy on the outside, or the guy on the outside is not going to get upset with the guy on the inside. It's where they are. It is their position. We like to think it is okay to be upset, to be angry, to be judgmental. It's okay if you are okay with being the problem. But then we find this. We find people who we come in contact with, we think are bright, intelligent, whatever, and they don't want anything to do with us. Well, what's wrong with me? You're judgmental. You don't talk to them as human beings. You talk to an idea in your head. You react to an idea in your head. And bright, intelligent people don't want to hear that. So they don't want anything to do with you. Then they become bad people. No, you ask for it. That is one of the things we must accept in life. You ask for it. If your feelings get hurt, you ask for it. You'll say, well, I'm not to blame. No, we're not talking about blame. Blame is for idiots. Responsibility is for bright people. If you understand how this universe works, and you have been given that law, how it works, when something comes up that bothers you, when you hit that block and it hurts, it is the natural law of this universe, or this place of being, telling you, move forward. This pain is because of your belief system. If you didn't have the belief system, it wouldn't be disturbing you. It's like standing on the railroad tracks and there's a train coming. And someone is saying, you know, you really should get off the tracks. And you say, don't tell me what to do. And bam, well, the driver of the train should have seen me. No, you should have gotten your ass off the track. Use of our intelligence. Naturally, within every being is love and intelligence. Two very basic things that are native to your being. They just can't be seen behind being childish, that is, insecure. I can't take responsibility. Somebody else has got to be responsible for my life. No, it's a part of maturation. It's a part of growing up. Look at every animal except man. Hey, can you walk? Start fending. You start, I'll do my part up until you get strong enough to bring down some little prey. Then you're on your own to learn and grow into an adult, whatever it is, except man. We are looking for a savior. The savior is inside of you. There is no savior outside of you. Jesus, save me. Muhammad, save me. Buddha, save me. Only you can save you, because only you have the crappy ideas that keep you locked in. When you are defensive about everything, you keep everything out. But by the same token, you keep you locked in. That doesn't make any sense, to restrict myself and blame the world. The world is providing you with a test to grow. And every time you come face to face with that and you say, well, I just hit a wall and I couldn't, you fail the test. See, it's not like in school you can get a C. There is no C in the cosmos. There's only an A. There is no A plus, there's only an A. Did you do it? Did you succeed? No. But I did learn this. No, you didn't. You're giving yourself an excuse for not doing what you needed to do, for not going all the way with what you needed to learn. That's why it keeps coming around. It keeps coming around. It keeps coming around. There is no kind of learning. Is there a kind of pregnancy? Is there a kind of dead? No. You're either dead or you're alive. You're either pregnant or you're not. You're either 5'3" or you're not. You see, the simple truth, the pure truth, is absolute. It's absolute. I will look at people and say, or some people and say, you know, you're not doing your work. But I did this or that or the other. I didn't ask you a question. I told you directly, you are not doing your work. But see, that person will take that insecurity and that defense and say, well, you're criticizing me. And then I will say, go away from me, don't come back. Because you have to understand. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm trying to help you understand. You're either dead or alive. You're either dead or alive. You either did it or you didn't. And what you need to deal with, that insecurity that pops up that wants me to be the villain or anyone else to be the villain, is what you have to deal with. How simple is that? The instructions have been, pay attention to what goes on in you. If it doesn't feel good, it's the thing you have to deal with. It's causing you the problem. How simple is that? And then I'll say, you're not doing your work. Really, it's not my function or my job. That's your function. That's your job. Because only you can liberate you. So only you can call it what it is and be honest. Only you can call it what it is. There is no choice. We think we have a choice. We don't. You can choose, but the truth is you don't have a choice. You got on a pair of gasoline drawers. There's a raging fire. You shouldn't run through it. But you can choose to run through it. But then you get angry with the fire for burning you. When you had all the tinder, everything around you that invited the fire. You're making it complicated. It's not complicated. We have things that we come up against, jobs or relationships with family, with friends, with lovers, or whatever. We'll say we want peace. We'll say we want to deal with things a certain way. If you're in a business, you have to make certain decisions. You can't just, I'm not going to do that. In a relationship, you can't say, well, I'm just not going to. There's another way. And once you see who you are, you see who others are, and you will respond to that differently. What in business or in life, period? What is the issue? Identify what the problem is. You identify what the problem is. Okay, let's decide upon a course of action. Let us, I am involved. Let us decide upon a course of action. Okay, decided, we all participate, we get it done, it's done. Sometimes we never have to deal with each other again. Or maybe we do decide we want to deal with each other again because of the way we solved the problem. Nobody wants to be bothered with somebody who doesn't want to solve the problem. when you have a mutual problem. Nobody wants to be bothered with that. But you have to buck up. Or people will say, well, I don't have time. I can't do my spiritual work because I got a job. I got this or that or the other. What is wrong with you? That job or that thing in life, you have to do your work in life in what it brings you. Because the thing that it brings you that frustrates you is the thing that you have to deal with. Not the thing out here, but the thing that happens within. So your job or whatever you're participating in is your surprise exam. Now you either pass it or you flunk. This is not, I can get a D and go forward, or a C or a B. You have to get an A. We have to understand that within. We have to understand it within, inside, to do your best. You listen to one of the Olympic sprinters, a woman, I forgot who she was, but one of the things she said is, I worked 4 years for 14 seconds. 4 years to run for 14 seconds. That is what focus and dedication is. That's what it is. Not this, well, every excuse for not working. No. There's a woman, Lolo Jones, who was setting all kinds of records in the hurdles and stuff. And all of a sudden, something started happening. She started hitting hurdles and losing races. Something was wrong. Well, they found out there was something wrong with her spine, so she was losing where her feet are. She didn't quite know where her feet were. So she would hit a hurdle. She had a spinal operation. Went back to training and ended up in London in the Olympics. This is not a person who says, well, it's like I hit a wall and I just stopped doing. Then it's when you're supposed to, as young people would say, man up. I would say adult up. Because that is where you have to do your work. If you accept that limitation, you can't go forward in your life. Your life is not going to be different because that same place is going to keep showing up. And if it keeps showing up, you're going to receive the same things in life. Now, what does that mean? Look at it and see how, I'm going to use a word, insane that is. You see, we don't know what insanity means. Insanity is going the opposite regardless of the truth in your face. That is not sane. So it must be insane. We have to stop and think. Things happen to show us where we are. Evil, insanity, or whatever you want to call it, is rampant in the world. Here's a man, a senator who sits on the science committee in Congress, who says in a real rape, women's bodies produce a chemical that won't let them get pregnant. Well, tell that to all the women who've been pregnant by rapists. A legitimate rape. Oh, there's some illegitimate rape. They're all illegitimate. You understand what I'm saying to you? The situation brings about a chuckle. But do you see how insane that is? And the thing that comes out, now they're throwing this guy under the bus when there were 47 senators who voted with this guy on bills against women's rights. So ignorance and insanity is running rampant. And guess what? You have those 40 people sitting there. How many people did it take to put them there? So the numbers grow as you look honestly. Whoa. Here's another thing that we don't see. When I'm talking about insanity, I'm talking about you. We point the finger at other people. No. I'm telling you that that night when I sat down there, all fingers came right here and said, this is what insanity looks like. Oh, this is what evil looks like. See, we have this idea, and we've been taught by the preachers and religions and stuff, that evil is this big, bad, boogeyman, antichrist person who is going to come out and set you on fire and tempt you against all the right things in life. No. If that were true, nobody would be evil. If that were true, you'd be like, I'm going to burn how long? With a fire 7 times hotter than it ought to be? Well, wait a minute. It's hot enough. If you've ever been burned, it's hot enough. You can't feel more pain than that. Something wrong here. But the thing about insanity and evil is its softness and each individual's willingness to believe in it within themselves. To believe that when I look out at the world, I'm looking at what you think instead of I'm looking at what I think. It's amazing. There are just so many ways to do things. I've said before, your elbow only bends this way. It only bends like that. It straightens this way, but it bends this way. Now, how many different things can it be doing? Many, many different things. All you see is the elbow bending. Oh, okay. Now, it could be putting food in my mouth. It could be putting drink in my mouth. It could be combing my hair. It could be picking up something. It could be slapping a face. It could be doing any numbers of things. But for the person observing that one truth through their own nonsense, they've got a reaction. I've had it said to me, well, this happened and I reacted this way because that's what you do. Are you out of your mind? You have to do what you do when you come to yourself. Don't do what I do. You are not who I am. You are still being somebody you are not. Why I do what I do is for an entirely different purpose of reason than a person who sees the world through insecurity, doubt, fear, all these things. It's different. You see the elbow bending, but you're doing it for an entirely different reason. My life is dedicated to aiding people to understand the truth. Aiding them to understand the truth. That's what I do. You can't aid somebody in understanding the truth unless you understand the truth. You can't understand the truth if your insecurity, doubt, fear, and all that stuff is up in the way. First things first, I must do what it is to clean myself. I can't drop out until I'm clean. Cleanliness drops me out. When I say cleanliness drops me out, that means when I have seen what I am and let it go, I am automatically outside of those things those lies, those insecurities, those fears. So I'm automatically out the door. I don't have to, it's not in here. Well, I'm just not going to participate. No, that's not the way that goes. What I'm trying to say, and one of the things I've tried to say all these years is, there is pretending to understand with the mind, and there's really understanding with the being. If I'm not being it, I'm doing this. It won't work. It won't work. Because you haven't done the things that leave you naturally outside of that. You follow what I'm saying? Now we come back to the point of this. The point of this is simple. I want to be free. Of my pain. I want my life to be different. Well, your life is created by this, the way you see things. If you think you are not worthy, then you see other people as thinking of you as not worthy. When the issue is not whether you're worthy or not, the issue is do the damn job, whatever the job happens to be. Whether that's, I don't know, picking up paper or teaching a course or whatever. Just do the damn job. It's not about you. God gives you a paycheck. He wants you to paint his house paisley. You don't have to like paisley. Do the job. Well, this is my idea and this is the better idea. Well, you don't want to listen to me because you don't think I can do the job. You're a problem. See the problem that you have created. You're a problem. Accept the responsibility of what you do. You're going to have to do things sometime. Just because you wake up doesn't mean that you're not going to do things that you don't have to accept responsibility for. You have to accept the responsibility. It's as simple as that. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not saying that in life things are not going to happen. Look at all the people that we worship. Jesus, they hung him on a cross. He was a pretty good guy. But some people didn't perceive him that way, as being a pretty good guy. John the Baptist, a woman said to the guy, well, you know, this guy is doing whatever, and I'm gonna tighten you up if you chop his head off. Off went his head. He was a great guy. One of the teachers of Jesus, or Yahushua. Buddha was served some poison mushrooms. You know, stuff is going to happen. This is life. Your idea that it's going to be flawless is an idea that you also have to get rid of. It's not going to be flawless. Stuff is going to happen. Now, how will you deal with the stuff happening? Will you get all, is that going to change the stuff happening? No. You will be at peace no matter what happens. But you have to go there. There is no limit to that. There is no wall in that. None. And I've said this before. There was a point in time where I had a pee bucket beside the bed because I couldn't get up most of the day. But when it came time to come here or to do the things that I needed to do, I did them. When it came time to find ways to be better, I found them. I could have said, there's a wall. That's as far as I can go. No. I'm well on my way back. Well on my way back. So when you tell me this is as far as I could go, so then I went off, I look at you like you're nuts. Why? Because you're not doing what you should do to understand and be better within, to have peace within, to have understanding and wisdom within. Because you let your own creation dictate your well-being, dictate the decisions you make. Well, you create your reality. Listen to me very carefully. So the next time you come up against something like that, you can have these words. There is no limit. So even if you think it inside, don't say that to me. Do not engage me in that conversation. Don't engage anybody else in it. If that's the way you're going to do it, then that's the way you're going to do it. About this whole thing in the world, it's about personal responsibility. Now that man knew better than to say what he said about anti-pregnancy juice in women. You know you made that up. You know you did. Where is your responsibility? Now, if you don't feel that women should have the right to an abortion, say so. But in the same way that he made up the anti-pregnancy juice, each individual that doesn't want to go through their own blocks makes up their own anti-pregnancy juice story. I see nobody has to tell. You know, and I know you know. And see, an extreme, when it gets to be extreme, I will say, I don't want to talk to you. Because you're lying. I know you're lying. You know you're lying. Why are we talking? You follow what I'm saying? I'm not judging you as a bad person. I'm saying this makes no sense. This is insane. If that's the way you want to behave, okay. But you must admit your own insanity to yourself, not to me. You don't have to call me up and say, Ananda, I'm crazy. I'm saying, I know that. There was a kid on TV who was very gay, who was in the Olympics. And he said, well, you know, one day I went to my mother at 16, and I told her, Mom, I'm homosexual. And she goes, duh. Tell me something I don't know. I'm crazy. Duh. We all are crazy until we get in control of these emotional things, these things we make decisions on that are irrational, just because we want it our way, the individual. We have to look at where we're going. This is about all of humanity. It's not just about the individual, although the individual is what must clear up in order for the whole to be clear. Each part must clear up. If we want a better world, each part must clear up. But when you can only see that little space of the world where you think you exist, then what you're propping up in the world is its insanity. What you're propping up in the world is, quote, evil. And these are just words. These are just words that are against the true expansion of humankind. These are just words. Don't take those old definitions of that off. You're saying I'm evil? Well, yeah. But it doesn't mean boogeyman evil. It means you're not paying attention. You're not doing what it takes to make yourself happy. And when you're not doing what it takes to make yourself happy, doesn't that strike you as a bit odd? You're giving yourself a hot foot and complaining you got blisters on your feet. Isn't that a bit odd? Think about it. We don't want to give up what is closest to us. Insecurity is closest to us. That's why you got to think about this stuff. You got to think about the puzzle that's presented, because it is designed to encourage your thought process. The pieces are there. When I say the first thing that happens when you are born is insecurity. That is the closest thing to a physical being. It's insecurity. It doesn't know what's going on because it has been secure within the womb of the mother for 9 months in its development. All of a sudden, things change. It doesn't know what to do. Insecurity is born. That same insecurity makes you afraid of change, because it was change that produced it. Coming out of the womb, warm, secure, never hungry, always toasty, whatever, protected. Now you're not. That is change. No, I don't want to change. If I've done things throughout my life like a bull in a china shop, gone through it, breaking things, breaking people, breaking this, breaking that, I don't want to change that because that's my security. It's not. Your security is being a human being. Your security is in loving and accepting the fact that you're going to die, accepting the fact that negative things are going to come your way because of what you do. These are going to be things that present you with you. Now, as long as you blame something else or someone else for it, you're never going to be able to deal with it. You're never going to be able to eliminate those kinds of things from life, from your life. So, that a part of that puzzle has been given. Do you relate what you do back to that part of the puzzle? No. We react in the moment. I'm so angry. Why? Because they did so and so. You still haven't told me why you're angry. You're telling me that you judge the world, you blame the world for what you did. That's what you're telling me. You're not answering the question. You're like a politician. Ask a politician which way is up. He'll tell you about north, south, east, west. He never tells you where up is. Listen to them. That's the same kind of thing we do. That's why I love Judge Judy. That's not what I asked you. Sir, that is not what I asked you. Answer the question. That is how we have to deal with the self. See, you don't have to say, answer the question. You can say, oh, I have to answer that question. And answer it. In dealing with people, I have said, you have to answer the question. But what they heard was, answer the question. Well, that's on you. It has nothing to do with what I said. Again, it is an example of how we filter and respond to our filter rather than the truth. And I'm just giving you an example so that we can see. Now understand something. We talk conceptual. And I've said to you before, it's about the energy, the misunderstanding of the energy that causes our misinformed reactions. So in order to see cleanly, conceptually, that is, to feel the energy of insecurity and know what it is, and know that when I go, well, so-and-so and so-and-so, I don't want to hear that inside. If you know the feeling of insecurity, you know that what you're saying is coming off of that and not from a place of intelligence, of use of intelligence. That's the work that needs to be done within all people. Are we going to choose to do that work as people? If an individual chooses to do it, they must understand how hard it was for them to come to doing it, and then understand, as you move through life, how hard it is for others to come to do it because they have other agendas. They don't know. You can't go through life telling them. They don't want to hear it. They see you, they think of you as they think of themselves. Then why should they listen to you? I go through life doing what I do. I see people in the gym every day. I see them doing things in there that's going to hurt them. Am I going to tell them? No. They know what they want to do. I got 2,000 pounds in this arm. I'm going to do a curl. Oh, bam. There was a guy who would come in there, and this happened 3 times within a month. He'd go over to the bench press, and each time as he approached a certain weight, he had a seizure. The paramedics would be coming up in there every time. It's like, dude. But then you see him over there and you go, well, he knows he's going to have a seizure. I just hope the weight doesn't fall on him because, well, whatever. You see, you're not... You say, well, you're supposed to help people. Well, yeah, you're supposed to help people that want to be helped. They will ask, can you help me with this? Sure. They will ask. But you can't force feed the truth to people. You can't. This is why I insist that people who come to me with questions have real questions, not bullshit questions. Come to me with questions about what they are doing. I don't care about the situations. I don't care that, well, my cousin said this to me, and then I said that to them, and then we said this, and then we got... I don't care. You're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. What happened inside of you? And what did you do about it? Now we're dealing with the issue that can liberate you or continue to entrap you. You follow what I'm saying? So it has to come down, it has to be narrowed down to the truth, to the value of it, to the value of what we're doing. And if we can't do that, I know that that person doesn't understand what we're doing here. And they want to be thought of as smart. That's not smart. So then when I say, hey, I don't care. Well, why do you talk to me that way? Well, why do you come to me that way? When it's been said over and over again, we have to come down to this. We have to come down to this. Why did you explode? Why didn't you do your technique? Why didn't you do your technique until the explosion went away? The desire went away. And when the desire went away, why did it go away? What happened? See, this is not, we're talking about dealing with the biomechanics in your body, the biomechanics of the energy, the gestalt meaning shape of that energy in your body. Now we're dealing with what the issue is. We're not dealing with the issue when we're dealing with superficial stuff. We're not dealing with the issue when we're dealing with superficiality, when we're dealing with what someone wants. We're not dealing with the issue. And I've said the issue is not that. That's up here. You got to get underneath that. You got to get underneath and unlock that energy so that it flows. We have to understand what this is about. And see, if we don't understand the concept and take that with us moment by moment, it's not going to work. If you are taught algebra, or being taught algebra, and you've forgotten how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you can't learn algebra. That's why you have to learn to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and take it forward with you into the algebra class. It's real simple. The process is real simple. You have to be true to the process. When you look at those track people, they have to be true to the process. You look at a sprinter, you say, man, they get up and they run fast. No, the race is divided into 3 parts. There are certain things you do in the first, third, certain ways in which you do things in the second part, third, and then the third, the last. When you come out, your head is down. You are digging. When you hit that first third, the head comes up. Bang. You look at a person doing the hurdles. They're not just taking a foot, whatever foot comes to the hurdle. There are 3 steps between one hurdle, another hurdle. The rhythm has to be there. That same leg kicks up. Bang, bang, 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, bang. They are following the process to be a hurdler. You see people in the long jump. They don't just run down there and jump. The foot has to hit the board. If that toe is a fraction over the board, but you have to get as close to that edge as possible, because you're talking about distance. When that foot hits the board, your hands go this way. Your lower body kicks in. About halfway through that jump, the legs are raised. When you hit the pit, you have to either fall to the side or have enough strength in your legs to kick you forward in order to get distance. This is process to jump 28 feet. You follow. If you don't do that and you jump 10 feet and you wonder, well, I just don't have the possibility. Well, you haven't learned to do what you need to do. That is with all processes, all of them. I call this a process. But I've also told you about a moment of clarity about it. It's about a moment. One moment in time. One moment when you do it right. It's not about time, distance. It's about doing what you have to do right now. It's about recognizing the entire problem and doing it. We, because of the way people see things and do things, I came up with the word process. Ain't no process. I've told you the truth. I've told you the secret. I defined what a mind is. The secret is, the problem is your mind. Now you solve the problem of your mind, you solve all the stuff that goes along with it. All your opinions, out the door. You want every leaf on the tree to die, you cut the tree down. Everything on the tree dies. Instead of, you can run around for the next 100 million years picking leaves off the tree, because every year they come back. Every cycle they come back. It is understanding that the linear mind is the problem. It associates. It has a value. When you talk about, if you take this many and put this many with it, you have these many. Okay? That works. But see, that's a simple thing. That doesn't have anything to do. That pairing doesn't have anything to do with your mental state. We've made it have something to do with it. We paired our emotional fears, insecurities, and doubts with the world. We paired that. But we paired those old childish experiences with the world, and they no longer count. A little child makes these decisions. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, and goes through life like that, defended. Well, it's like teaching a child to cross the street. It's all right for a 3-year-old to be afraid to cross the street. But a 33-year-old, it doesn't make any sense. You're 33 years old and you can't cross the street. Well, it's the same thing. I'm defended because people said something about me. They made fun of me. They did this. Well, somebody made fun of everybody. Everybody's got a story. So, what's your point? Now you're guarded. You look around and you're by yourself. Why is that? Because you throw that trip off on everybody around you. People want to be related to for who they are. I'm no different. I want to be related to for who I am. And when you start laying foolish trips on me, I don't want you around me. Because you're not talking to me. As a person who is facilitating the process, you start laying trips on me, it's like I'm just here to facilitate the process. You're not even talking to me. And yet you want to argue, and that's why I'll say, get the hell away from me. You're not talking to me. You don't even know me. Okay? My point is, you have to know your situation. If you don't know your situation, you are wrong in that situation. You're going to be wrong in that situation because you don't see it for what it is. People want to be related to for who they are. They want to be spoken to for who they think they are, actually. I want to be spoken to for who I am because I no longer think about that. I have no illusion about who I am. I'm just what I am. You say, what is that? I say, I don't know. I just am. Stuff keeps showing up. Different things keep showing up all the time. I go, wow. Oh, check that out. Wow, check that out. Someone says, how is it at certain points you show up in my dreams? I just show up. I don't know. It's not like, say, I'm going to go down here and get me a ticket and go over to Sheila's dream. I just show up. You said, did you know so-and-so? I'll say, I know the action. I know the energy of it. But I watch how you respond and how you create in the energy of it. But then you look at me, in many ways, I'm just like anybody else. But I'm not. I may not say anything. I might say real stupid stuff. right? And when I say real stupid stuff, know that I'm joking, hearty, ha, ha, ha. I have this sense of humor about stuff that I find really funny because it says something really stupid. And if you know me, you know I couldn't mean that. Oh, it's a joke. Ha, ha, ha. Get the joke. Okay? Deal with what is in front of you. Deal with what is in front of you. You may not know what it is, but don't think you do know what it is. You may say, well, you are so strange, I don't know exactly what you are. Good. Well, then don't act like you do know. And then you can find out. Then you can find out who you are. Then you can find out who you are. And once you know who you are and I know who I am, we have no problem. We will relate to each other easily. Tell stupid jokes to each other, laugh, whatever, have a good time. It's okay. It's okay. But only when you know. When you don't project onto them and pretend that they are what you are projecting, or pretend that it is what you are projecting. Okay? You see a bear in the woods, you don't think, oh, I'm a loving spiritual person. Let me go down here and have a conversation with this bear. You are projecting stupid onto the bear. The bear, you go, oh, I am God and you are God. And the bear goes, you are lunch. God has sent me lunch. Oh boy. Because I'm a bear. I eat things like this. Okay? Remember the joke. The man's teacher was telling him, all things are God. And one day he gets a message. The teacher gets a message to come to the hospital because Joe's in the hospital. He says, Joe, what are you doing in the hospital? He said, I saw an elephant and it was running and I thought, it will not run over me. It is God. I am God. And it ran over me and trampled me. He said, teacher, why did that happen? Why did God forsake me? He said, God didn't forsake you. You are God and the elephant is God. Didn't you hear God sitting on the elephant's head going, get out of the way? It's a runaway rogue elephant. Get out of the way. Yes, it's God. And yes, you're God. But each thing has its godly purpose. Lions eat meat. It's not like you're made out of wood. And the lion goes, oh my God, it's a vegetable plant. I'm not going to eat it. Lions eat meat. Well, God protected the Hebrew children in the whatever. Are you a Hebrew child? Are you Joe Schmo? Okay. I think you better take this into your own hands and stay away from the lion. All I'm saying is recognize what you see. Don't be stupid. Don't project onto something that's not true. Don't project on it that's not true. Deal with it for what it is. In my own experience with people who've known me for years, have looked at me and thought, he's losing it. I will have lost my mind totally and absolutely clear about what time it is. So don't get it twisted. That was their desire in their own mind, for me to be like them. No. No. Mm-mm. You can't do that. You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what you see. I may not remember what happened yesterday. I may not remember what happened 3 minutes ago. But you see, I don't have to remember godliness, because godliness is what I am, and that is all I can be. It's not like I have to remember it. I don't have to remember it. It's there. The people who gave me the old folks test last year, they were kind of amazed at my memory about, they gave me 10 words, okay? Remembered the words. Came back, I remembered the words. So they came back this year, same thing. But they gave me a test that I had given you a few years ago. It's like, identify the color. So you write the word red, but the letters are colored brown. Blew it out of the water. I didn't tell them that I had been using the test for years. I already knew how to do it. It wasn't like they were surprising me with something. So they didn't really test who I am. It wasn't that I remembered that, but when I saw it, it was there. It was in me. That's the point. Things are in you. When they are there, that's the difference in trying to remember and the real truth. They are there. You just let it happen. Okay. So, wow, you did that really well. Okay. They asked me to do another check. Walk 16 steps. Okay. But if they had asked me to walk 17, I wouldn't have made it. See, those kinds of tests are kind of off. The test of who you really are is being who you really are. You follow? And when you are what you are, that can't be lost. How's that going to be lost? You are what you are. I don't remember stuff. I don't have to. I'm here right now. I'm dealing with right now. People who live in the mind are thinking and trying to live in the future are living in the past. And that's what happens when you bring that crap forward. When you start projecting that on other people. You have brought it forward from childhood into the now. So you can't be alive here now. Because you're always relating to something that happened back then and saying that it's happening now, which is not true. It's not true. The issue, you have to give up that which is closest to you. That insecurity is one of the things that's closest to you. You know, there's some people you can tell the truth and they get their feelings hurt. It's not about their feelings being hurt. It's, do you want to know the truth? Are you adult enough to just have somebody tell you the truth? Or are you a child that wants to react? What are you? Who are you? And what is that getting you? What is it getting you? When someone wants to tell you the truth, how are you going to solve a problem between you and them if you can't just accept the truth? And that doesn't mean being that obnoxious break your face thing. It means, this is true. This is this and this. Oh, okay. It's not get in your face, break your face truth. We think that's truth. No, that's obnoxiousness. It's when you come to your natural self, there's a softness. If you will think back, many of you, those people that I've been really nasty with, how many years was I very soft with you? Think about it. I started being very soft. All of a sudden, it's like, when you show me that softness, you're not listening because it's soft, I will become harsh. But that doesn't mean you start off being harsh. That means you recognize why the harshness is there. I'm trying to break through the stupidity. If I've been soft with you for 20 years, 20 years, 20 years, 20 long years. Duh. You follow? And all of a sudden I'm harsh. You have to quit. Well, wait a minute. Why is he harsh? Think. This is just a reflection. What I'm doing is a reflection of the law. The law first whispers. Psst. Wow. Psst. Hey. Next big thing. A strong wind. Hey. The next thing, a hurricane, class 18. I think they only go up to 4. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? It did. One of the things that we do as old children is what we've done as young children. People will say something to me and I'll say no. 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 Mm-mm. You keep coming back until I say, damn it, no. What part of no don't you understand? The N or the O? What is it? Now I'm beating at that door. I'm knocking on that door. I'm trying to kick that wall down for you to get it. When I said no to a person using their intelligence, that would be enough. See, if I tell you no today, you come back 2 years later with the same thing, I just might let you sweat and toil with it, and then you bring it to me and I tell you no. Because I already told you. This is the way children do things. I got to show that I can. This is not about that. What you need to show is your ability to stand up against the bullshit. That's what you need to show. You don't need to show anything else. I can write a letter. Nobody cares. That's not the issue. Maybe somebody who wants to get a letter from you cares. I don't want a letter. I want you to understand the letter writing process. That's what I want. So what I'm trying to clarify here today is some stuff between us, between people and the world. I'm trying to clarify that. I'm trying to say, hey, here are the things, and you have to fit yourself into those categories. It's not my job to fit you. It's your job to see yourself. Your job to see yourself in what I've said. And your job to go, oh, oh, yeah. People have often asked me, what were the questions that I asked and answered that night? These are the questions I asked and answered, and they were about my behavior. They weren't specific questions for the world. They were specific according to my insanity, as yours must be specific according to your insanity. But you must understand you. You must understand in order to ask the right question of yourself and answer for yourself. See, that's what this deal is about. It's about self-discovery. Self, not themselves, self. Only one moment, you. The only moment, you. What am I doing? Why is my life this way? What did I do? What am I doing now? Wow. Okay. To be loving and kind is to be understanding. To be understanding. And the way that I'm understanding is because I understand me. I see me, therefore I see you, because we all are what we are by reason of the same process. Not the same thing, but by reason of the same process. We have to understand the energy beneath it. Ah, now I see. I can help you because I see. Why do I see? I saw it here. And I recognize it when I see it. Wow. Okay. Some have come along and done what they were asked to do, and they go, man, you know, you were right. Duh. Of course I was right, because we're talking about a process. We're talking about a moment. We're talking about what should happen here. And it's hooked into the problem. The solution is always in the problem itself. You just need to look for the solution. Study this well. See yourself. See yourself in every judgment you make about the world and the things in it. See yourself. See yourself. See what you do. This is your only liberation. Well, I'm right. Really? Really? Are you? How's your life? I'm just saying. How's your life? Something happens, you have to pay your price. That's all. You just pay your price. That's all. Everybody pays their price. Jesus paid his price for being king of the Jews. The king of Rome wasn't real happy with that. He paid his price. Their prices. The Buddha left home and never to see his family again. The price he paid. You just have to pay your price. What is it? Part of it is to stop being above other people. Stop being smarter. Stop being above them. Stop being, and we have this bad, it's like, I'm the next savior of the world. How the expletive can you be the next savior of the world? You haven't even saved yourself. I'm here to change the world. No, you change the world by changing you. I'm not trying to change the world. You don't see me on any soapbox. You see me, I got on the elevator with some young men, and they thought they were going to freak me out by saying, I said, how are you? They said, oh, it's hard out here for a pimp. And I said, yeah, when you're trying to get the money for the rent and the Cadillac and the gas money spent, whole lot of bitches jumping ship. You listen to that? Yeah. Son, there were people on earth before you got here. Not that I approve of the word bitches. But that's part of the song, but he wanted to freak me out. He wanted to shock me, so I shocked him. There were gangsters here before you got here, son. Oh, well, sir, how you do? It's nice to meet you, sir. Okay. You see, my point is a teaching that was a subtle teaching. Not standing on a soapbox, not trying to be better than, but coming right down, eye to eye. Yeah, I know the song, what is it? Hard Out Here for a Pimp. The reason I know it, I just gave you the words for it. Okay. In that same context, another teaching. When I was at the Merc, and the guy said to, one of the traders said to a black guy who was a runner, he says, why is it black people don't speak good English? And I said, why is it black people don't speak English well? The point got made to those around. It went right over his head. Okay? But there was no, how dare you? There was no, Now, point was made in a couple of ways. I'm a black person. I understand the English language. You missed it, but a whole lot of people around you who broke down laughing got it. You follow what I'm saying to you. It's not about, well, I reached my limitation. I have no limitation. I'm not trying to save the world. As far as I'm concerned, the world has been saved. I saved me. The world has changed. So we have to get off our high horses. Just because we're learning this doesn't mean it makes you better. Doesn't mean it makes you higher. It just means everybody knows more about something than somebody else. I'm not going to come to Morgan and know more about the law than Morgan. That's her thing. The law is not my thing. Life is my thing. I stick with that. She has to make a decision. She's not coming to me saying, now, Ananda, I need to make this decision. Law so-and-so says this. I say, go ahead, Morgan, do what you got to do. I can't help you. You follow. Somebody knows more than you about something. It just happens that what I know about is life. And what I know about it is because I gave up everything for that knowledge. I gave up everything I thought I knew for that knowledge. And all I'm trying to do is explain how you get there so that pain, ignorance is eliminated. It's not about one thing else. Hear it well. It's not about anything else. That's what it's about. So when you start projecting this way, stop. Stop it. Let that be your gateway to stopping it every place else. Do you learn to see? We have to learn to see our parents for just what they are. Because if you don't, you'll carry this argument on to your grave. Well, you should have been a better parent. Should have been a better parent. No, you should have been a better child. If anybody should have been better. I like what I don't usually agree with Elizabeth on The View, but she got in an argument with her 7-year-old daughter. And finally she said to the kid, I've never had a 7-year-old before. I don't know what I'm doing. And the child stopped and said, you don't know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm doing. That, of course, stopped the whole argument. Now the child's got to go ponder this. Like, what? Children don't come with instruction booklets. You have to learn as you grow. All right, take this to heart. Focus like an Olympic athlete. Focus for years for that one moment. Just know that you're focusing. Thank you for your time. Peace out.